now.
Hey, Russell! Come on! We done here!
Iya.
San Pedro Valley, 1859, an Apache warband watches from a cliffside as two surveyors and a young boy begin laying out the plots for the town of Horizon. One of the younger Apache men questions why the men would choose to do this in this spot, and his friend shrugs. Desmarais, Angus McFadden, a missionary, rides his horse across the open desert in search of Horizon, having been drawn there by a flyer for the new town. He finds a man at a ruined church who tells him that he already passed through the spot. Desmarais returns and discovers the murdered bodies of the two surveyors and a young boy. He buries the bodies and then decides to stay and continue their work sometime later in Montana Territory. Lucy Gina Malone arrives at a remote cabin and shoots the sleeping owner, James Sykes, Charles Halford, in the chest. She releases his horse and then rides off with her baby Sam. James, barely alive, is brought back to his family's compound. Mrs. Sykes, Dale Dickey, the family matriarch, orders James' sons Caleb, Jamie Campbell Bower, and Junior John Beavers to hunt Lucy down. 1863, a small tent city developed at Horizon, and new settlers continued to arrive. The town celebrates in their dance hall. Frances Kittredge, Sienna Miller, attends with her husband, Jane's son, Nat, and daughter, Elizabeth Georgia McPhail, before they all return to their home outside the town on the cliff. Late that night, the family is woken up by an attack from the Apache group, who proceed to burn the town to the ground and kill many residents. The locals fight back, with many dying on both sides. A group of locals reach the Kittredge house and help Frances and her family fight the Apache group until they are eventually overtaken. Frances and her daughter hide in a crawl space beneath the house, using a shotgun forced through the ground to breathe. James and Nat prepare to continue fighting outside the safety of the house. Russell Etienne Calisi, a young locale, flees on horseback. The following day, the surviving townsfolk come out of hiding to survey the destruction as the Apache band returns to their mountain village. At nearby Camp Gallant and informs the U.S. Army about the attack. Lieutenant Trent Gephardt, Sam Worthington, and Sergeant Gent. Major Thomas Riordan, Michael Rooker, lead a group of men to Horizon to survey the damage and help bury the bodies. Gephardt informs the surviving residents that the location of the town made them easy targets for the Apache. At the Apache settlement, Piansene, a younger tribe member, argues with tribe elder Teish Gregory Cruz about the attack on Han. Chuwayuse is concerned the attack will only lead to retaliation on their tribe, and he prefers peace. But Piansene is adamant that he will not live a life hiding in the mountains, and he believes that they must fight back. Chuwayesh banishes Piansene from the village along with a group of other men, including Taklashem, Tatanka means, who share the same belief. Taklashem argues with his wife about how his actions have led to so many widows and orphans, although she eventually agrees to join him. Chuayese is visited by his son, who reveals he has decided to join Piansene. Chuayese accepts the decision and says they will meet again one day. Chuayese then has a conversation in English with a second son about the situation. Riordan informs Russell that his parents have died. Chavez, Alejandro Eda, a Pima Indian scout working with the army, leads a group of men to try and track the Apache group. Lucy and Walter prepare to leave town for Walter's business, reluctantly leaving Sam at home under Marigold's care. Frances and Elizabeth adjust to life at Camp Gallant and thank Geppert for his help in their rescue.
All that you've done.
Gephardt and Riordan meet with Curdle. Albert Houghton, Danny Houston. Houghton disagrees with Geppert's attempt to dissuade settlement at Horizon, sharing an alternate belief that the white men outnumbered a native population and will one day make it their home no matter what, even if some lives are lost in the process. Lucy and Walter arrive at a cabin for their land and are surprised to discover it is a setup artist. The brothers inform Lucy they plan to take her and her son back to their father, who is still alive. Walter tries to step in, but Caleb hits him in the back of the head, killing him instantly. Lucy tries to escape, but her attempt is quickly foiled, though Caleb and Junior begin to fight as Junior is angry that they now have to bury Walter's body. Junior sends Caleb to the mining town where he meets Hayes on the street. Caleb follows Hayes as he walks and taunts him incessantly while Hayes remains largely silent. Caleb follows Hayes to Marigold's home, and the two engage in a shootout with Hayes killing Caleb.
Hayes flees town quickly and agrees to take Marigold and Sam with him.
I'll come away after.
Western Kansas. Matthew Van Weyden, Luke Wilson, leads a wagon train across the Santa Fe Trail. Members of the group include upper-class British couple Juliet Chesney, Ella Hunt, and Hugh Proctor, Tom Payne, as well as the extended family of James Kittredge, which includes Owen Kittredge, Will Patton, and his daughter Diamond Kittredge, Isabel Furman. While stopped for a rest and to fix broken wheels, a horse goes wild, but Diamond steps in to free him from his rein and avoid an accident.
Bit of education.
Matthew scolds Hugh and Juliet for not helping the group enough. Juliet stands up to Matthew while Hugh quickly demurs and agrees to be more helpful. Matthew discovers two Pawnee scouts are tracking the caravan and decides to be cautious and round up the caravan early for the night to protect them in case of an attack. Juliet uses some of the group's drinking water to bathe herself and is caught naked by two young men. Hugh tries to convince Matthew to discipline the men, but Matthew instead scolds Hugh and Juliet for using the limited water to bathe. Matthew goes to talk with the two men who refute the accusation and refuse to accept orders from Matthew. Later at night, they watch Hugh and Juliet in their wagon from afar. Elias, Russell, and Tracker, Jeff Fahey, encounter a native man and his family at a small outpost. Tracker tries to get Russell to shoot the man, but Russell refuses to do so, and they let the man go. Later, Tracker suggests the group buy a few native men to help them in their continued pursuit of the Apache group, though it suggests it will be difficult to find the actual men who burned down Horizon and instead should kill whoever they find. Russell and Elias commit to continuing the hunt.
Well, this looks damn unhealthy.
Junior returns home with Caleb's body and tells his father he has already sent men to track down Hayes and Marigold. Hayes notices they are being tracked and watches from a hillside as Junior and his men search a small settlement. Marigold wants to stop running, but Hayes insists that the Sykes family will not let her live and that they should stay in the mining town now that Junior has moved on. Marigold begins sleeping with a traveling gambler, and he tries to convince her to leave Hayes and Sam and go with him. Marigold has sex with Hayes one final time, then abandons Sam in the care of a group of Chinese immigrant workers before leaving town. Hayes wakes up to discover she is gone and accepts the situation. A contingent of the army is called away from Camp Gallant to fight in the Civil War. Frances and Elizabeth say goodbye to the men, and Elizabeth offers the men a blessing, raising everyone's spirits.
Tracker, Elias, Russell, and their group come upon an Apache camp and wait until the men leave on a hunt. Once the men go, they attack the remaining women and children. Russell watches on in horror as Tracker begins to scalp the bodies. The group finishes the work and rides off before the men return. The film ends with a montage of shots of all the characters in their respective storylines and scenes from Part 2. The scenes include a first glimpse of Pickering Giovanni Ribisi as he prints out additional flyers advertising the town of Horizon.
Now. Hey, Russell! Come on! We done here!